Welcome, dear students, to this class on History of English Literature. In today's class, we'll discuss another important topic, that is a rise of English novel. As a literary genre, novel emerged in the beginning of the 18th century. It can be said that the Industrial Revolution created a desire among the people to read books or any other literature related to their everyday experience. The novels, they represented truth as an individual experience, unique and new. The writers gave individual vision of reality. The English name novel is actually derived from the Italian word novella, meaning a little new thing, a novel thing. And the novella was a kind of anecdote found in the 14th century. Since the Victorian period, the novel replacing poetry and drama has become the most important part of English literature. The main factors that contributed to the rise of novels are the decline of drama, introduction of realism, rise of periodical essays, and so on. Realism tried to portray all the varieties of human experience. Philosophers like Descartes and Locke insisted upon the importance of individual experience, and that was given importance in novels. These philosophers believed that reality could be discovered by the individual through the senses. Coming to the rise of novels, we can say that the decline of drama served as a very important feature, a factor that contributed to the rise of drama, rise of novel. The rise of novel in the early stage of 18th century was greatly affected by the decline of drama. Drama was very famous during the Elizabethan age. You know about all those things, and later on during the Puritan era, the drama was, theaters were closed. And later on, you know about all those things, and I'm not going to discuss that here. You can listen to the class on restoration theater for that. So, one thing that you need to understand is decline of drama is one important factor. Another important factor for the increase of the reading public is the emergence of coffee houses. Coffee houses became popular during this time. They were actually places where people used to come together, discuss on things, share information, share their opinions, and also they used to read journals, Tatler, Spectator, the rise of periodical essays. That also served as a very important factor. The growing importance of the middle class, that is another important thing, and that served as a ready material for the writers. The rise of novel was also the result of the democratic movement in the 18th century England. Like tragedy, romance made an appeal to the rich and left the common people untouchable. Thus, romances, the prose romances. The romanticism of Defoe remained popular for some time, but it didn't last long because it was far away from the ordinary social world. No, people couldn't relate to what these writers were talking about. And during this age, a consciousness of the rights of people began to come in the public mind, and the novelists took advantages of this situation. And so they began to write something that deals with the life of the common people, something that they can relate to. The common people found that the novels deal with their own life problems, so they started to support the novels of realism that were presented by Henry Fielding. As time passed, the democratic feelings of the people and the democratic support of the government made this genre popular in the country. The individual's trust in his own abilities and the practice of reason and self analysis of this age of reason were served as other reasons. Coming to the reading public, most readers were middle class women. They used to borrow books from circulating libraries, and when we come to Victorian era, when we have full-fledged novels, we come to know that the reading public, the majority of the readers were women. Rise of periodicals, that was yet another influence on novel. In the first 15 years of the 18th century, writers like Steele and Addison included character sketches in their essays. For example, Sir Roger de Coverley, Andrew Freeport. These characters were developed in the essays, in the Spectator essays. The novelist emerged as a spokesman of the middle class community, and the writers of this the novels included Daniel Defoe, Samuel Richardson, Henry Fielding, Jonathan Swift. This Daniel Defoe is considered to be the father of the realistic novel, while Samuel Richardson wrote sentimental novels. Henry Fielding wrote mock epic novels like Tom Jones. Jonathan Swift used to write satirical novels like Gulliver's Travels. So, for short answers, please learn these as well. Realistic novels, about sentimental novels, about mock epics, and a few examples, and also the prose satires of this time. The main aim of the novelist is to understand the society around him. He wrote in a very simple, polished, but in an elegant way. And the realism that he is talking about is not only linked to the life presented, but to the way it was shown as well. The plot involved everyday life, the social structures, the class, how people used to behave in their normal life, in their everyday life. The real life was shown. Everything that could affect social status became themes for novels. The sense of reward and punishment, which was linked to the Puritan ethics of the middle class, was also another important theme. Coming to the characters, the hero was usually the mouthpiece of the author, and the reader is expected to sympathize with him. He is a particular humankind, no, not a general human type as we find in drama of the earlier period. He is a bourgeois, self-made, self-reliant man who emerges successful after a few episodes of misfortunes. All the characters, they have contemporary names and surnames. They are located precisely in time and space, and a struggle for survival or social success is shown. They believe in reason. And another very important feature is that it need not confine to the unity of time. No more timeless stories to mirror the unchanging moral varieties, no more restriction. And coming to the setting, it was usually the towns and the streets that the people can relate to. Chronological sequence of events were shown, references to particular times of the year or the day was mentioned, detailed descriptions of interiors, of the rooms, to make the narrative more realistic was done. The narrative techniques of this time also differed. We have fictional autobiographies from Jonathan Swift, Daniel Defoe, where they resorted to first person narration. But when we come to Samuel Richardson, he used to write epistolary novels. The style used letters to take the story forward. For example, the characters, they used to exchange letters, and that is how the plot is revealed to the readers. So such novels are called epistolary novels. So please learn these as well for short answers. Mock epic style, certain prose satires, epistolary novels. Then Henry Fielding, who used third person narrator, he wrote resorted to mock epic style in his famous Tom Jones. So this rise of novel is another possible short answer question. And if it is an essay question, then you have to write something of the neoclassical literature as an introduction and come to the various factors that contributed to the growth of novel, and then come to the time, setting, characters introduced in the novel, and give examples, give the names of different genres which were popular at that time, realistic novels, sentimental novels, epistolary novels, and give examples. For example, Fielding's Joseph Antius, Thomas Stern's Yorick, Thomas More's Utopia, uh, Richardson's Pamela, Goldsmith's Vicar of Wakefield. So, these are examples of novels of this time. Thank you.